Are important items not getting done? Are you stuck and frustrated because you've got so many things that you need to do, but they're just not happening? Hi, this is Justin Hitt with Inside Strategic Relations, and I've got a special report in my hand about how do you transform each day into more accomplishments. And I want to share with you 4 powerful strategies to get you started getting more done each day. First off, are you tired of people being frustrated with you and not trusting you because you're not getting things done? You've got a list of 100 or so tasks at the beginning of the day, and by the end of the day, you have 200 or so tasks. I know people talk about inbox zero, and they talk about the challenges of day-to-day activities, and we all have the same 24 hours. So if you're frustrated, fearful, worried about not doing a good job, that's why you didn't get started. Are you overwhelmed by not having enough resources? Well, these 4 insights are going to help you get the results that you're looking for. Insight number 1. Clearly establish your goals and the reason why you want to accomplish something. The problem with most people is they have more desire than they have resources to address that desire. And that desire is growing as advertisers promote to you new opportunities. As you see things in the world around you, social media has been really bad about this. Social media pushes you to believe that everyone's life is better than you. Now, people believed that before, but now you can see evidence. And if you see the photographs of your friend at the baseball game, and it looks like your friends are going on another vacation, it doesn't say anything about their financial situation. It doesn't say anything about their goals and objectives, but it could be saying that that's what's most important to them. If it is most important to them to go on vacation and to go to activities, that's fine. They are getting those things done. But just like you, they have thousands of other things that are not happening. The reason you're frustrated, the reason you feel kind of concerned and worried and that pain of regretting not doing the things that you wanted to do is because you didn't have clearly established goals that identify the reasons why you want to accomplish certain things. If you want to grow a business, why do you want to grow a business? If you want to go on more vacations, well, why do you want to go on more vacations? And it can't just be the escape of the frustrations you're having in day-to-day activities. It really needs to be something purposeful and something directed at getting a goal accomplished. That's what life's about. Number 2, you want to inventory your outcomes. The outcomes are the things that are the result of the goal. So if you take more vacations, you'll be relaxed. Well, how else could you be relaxed? Well, you could be relaxed by getting more of the important things done. And because you're getting the important things done, you're having that same level of satisfaction that you would have had on a vacation, but you're doing it without spending money, without being away from home, without having that frustration of coming back and having a pile of things to do. Now, you might be saying, well, Justin, are you saying I shouldn't take a vacation? No, you should take vacations. That's fine. But they need to be because you want to take a vacation, not because you see someone else taking a vacation or because a salesperson showed up. I've got a voucher for a cruise here that I got as a result of a negotiation, kind of a barter deal. And it's probably worth $3,500. And I'm not pushing hard to put it on the calendar because I have other things that I enjoy doing. I have other things that create outcomes that I desire. And you're going to package these outcomes into projects. Projects are a way to organize these activities. Now, we're still talking about tip number 2, but it's the project that packages a deliverable that's tied to a goal or an outcome. Where you want to be in 3 to 5 years is going to be the result of the actions you take each day. Which actions should you take each day? Well, that depends on the projects at hand and the deliverables that schedule. Next, number 3 is you want to evaluate priorities by key factors. Okay, you need to make decisions about what needs to be done first, second, third. And in fact, you're only going to work on one thing. As you package up these activities and the projects, you'll decide which project is worth doing and which isn't worth doing. I'm creating podcasts now, even though I've recorded podcasts for the last 15 or 20 years, and I have a huge library of materials, most of which are unpublished. Most of my materials I've created and provided to clients, like this special report I put together here, originally started in 2011, and I gathered materials from different client and coaching assignments, from consulting work, from actually doing things. See, there's a lot of people online that have podcasts, they have information products, they have a lot of researched materials, but they haven't actually done anything. In the last 9 years or so, I've made more than $1 million in income. Probably much more than that because we have effective tax structures. Probably much more than that because I've produced assets that cash flow. See, that's the difference. What is it that you want? Do you want to have 2 or 3 years of income in the bank there just in case? You know, maybe you're earning a high income right now, but you know in most economies that the ones that get cut are usually the ones that make the most dollars. And then second are the ones that make the most value. So how can you orient your day so you're creating the most value so you're the least likely to be cut, but also how can you hedge your earnings? Many of my clients are looking for second and third incomes that are passive in nature so that they can hedge their earnings. Now, we're going to cover number 4 here shortly, but you've got to understand the evaluation of priority is just not what you want to do. It's what can you do that develops the most resources. What is worth doing and what is worth getting done. That's where your focus goes. Now, I'm working on these podcasts not because I want to create podcasts. My son is starting to get interested in video editing, audio editing, and those activities. He's in fact learning this summer to be an assistant editor. So I'm producing these materials and gathering up many of my old materials and putting them together in a podcast so that he can get practice and experience being an assistant editor. And then eventually he may become a channel manager. He might open his own YouTube channel. He might do things that he wants to do. So you also must choose to do the projects and activities that enable other people to not only free up your time, but to achieve the things that they desire. When Bill Gates became a millionaire, he didn't just become a millionaire by himself. His whole team became a millionaire. When Bill Gates became a billionaire, others came with him. We want to be enablers, we want to be producers, but we want to do it in a positive way without becoming overwhelmed ourselves. You might feel that people stop trusting you when you drop the ball and you don't get things accomplished. Well, how do you build that trust? How do you grow that relationship? Well, you do the things that are important, you respect your time, you focus on goals and outcomes, create results, and you be honest with people. You say no. If they say, hey, can you help me out with such and such? You evaluate it. You say, maybe I'll get back with you in 24 hours, and then you give them a yes or a no. Yes, it fits into your goals and objectives, or no, it does not. If you do not make this decision, you will be at the mercy of everyone around you doing what they demand, doing what they ask, and it is just the worst position to be in. So first, when you're evaluating priorities, you're going to do the things that create more resources. Item number 4. So you've identified your goals. You have a reason why for each goal. You've inventory your outcomes, and this would also include resources and other things, but you've packaged them up in projects. Number 3, you've evaluated your priority, and you've got the key factors that are influencing your priority. One of which is, does it create more resources? Others, does it enable other people? Other things is, does it help you achieve goals? You evaluate the projects that way. And then finally, you take immediate action on the top priority right now. I know a lot of people are talking about multitasking. I know a lot of people are talking about leveraging your team to get things done. But there's this truth of life which is called a diffusion of energy. If you have a team, if you have software tools, if you have all these resources doing 50 things, then those single pool of resources will be divided 50 different ways and nothing's going to get done. And then you're going to end up with the same frustrations. You're going to end up with the same worries. You're probably frustrated that you're not getting enough done, and that's why you're listening to this program. You might be concerned about the outcomes, the quality of the outcome. You might be worried that work seems like there's no end in sight. Well, that's because you're doing too many things. You've got to find those single goals, single objectives, align every project and resource towards those single focus, and then, because part of aligning focus is removing the things that distract, and then do things only on the top priority. Now, you're going to run into obstacles and roadblocks on the top priority sometimes, and that'll pause things, and you can get something else started. But we're not going to start 50 things and try to get anything accomplished. It just doesn't work that way. So in today's episode, I want to make sure I covered the 4 factors that are going to help you leverage the resources that you have, and it's going to help you do the things that are worth doing. It's going to help you focus more resources on fewer outcomes. Now, because these outcomes are very important and they're critical to your business, it's going to drive results. Now, if you have any questions about this or any other program I have, or in fact, you want to get a copy of the special report that I mentioned earlier that talks about one critical element, and that's your day, one critical element that impacts the outcome. If you want to eliminate these fears and frustrations about having too much to do and too little time or too few resources, then when you contact our office to ask your questions, be sure to mention code G0610B. Okay, you're going to mention code G0610B. That tells me a couple of things. It tells me that you've invested your time and attention in listening to this episode of Inside Strategic Relations. It also gives me a reference point to gather materials, because one of the things you might notice about these 3 steps is we're going to use projects to group tasks. So instead of having 50,000 things on your to-do list, instead of even worrying about getting everything done or checking all your emails, you're going to package things up in projects and then prioritize within a project. We could have talked about leveraging your team, but that's project management. Those are things you pick up when we have the right organization of the day. You also, since you're single tasking and focusing only on the top priority, you will not need a lot of the other resources that are out there, but you still might have questions. And that's why I put together this special report that I'll get you a copy of. I'll get you a manuscript copy of it, by the way. It's not going to be a finished, pretty report. I've put this together for a client that had a few questions, and our group Q&A sessions. If you want to get involved in the group Q&A sessions, you're going to go out to www.insidestrategicrelations.com, and you're going to ask your questions, make any comments. We'd love to hear your comments, but you're going to mention program code G0610B. Now, let me give you one last takeaway, because what's going to happen if you follow these 4 steps? Well, first off is you're going to get more done each day along the line of a list of priorities. Second is you're going to get more done of what matters, and you'll start achieving more with fewer false starts. And finally, when you look back on life, it'll be a life full of joy, full of accomplishments, things you can be proud of. People will look upon you as someone who can achieve and get things accomplished, and you'll start attracting new opportunities. New opportunities is really what it's about. But more importantly, it's about the business relationships. When you're a producer and you're able to get things done, not only do you secure that high income, but you create opportunities for other people. And as you create opportunities for other people, you can teach them the system, and all these things come together to build up an ecosystem that supports your long-term growth. That is what Inside Strategic Relations is about. Creating and keeping profitable customers, but also transforming business relationships into profits guaranteed. I'm Justin Hitt. This has been another episode of Inside Strategic Relations. We welcome your questions. Visit us at the website. You'll find all of our contact information there. And be sure to like and subscribe and all that great stuff. Thanks for listening. Until next time, I'm Justin Hitt, here to help you create and keep profitable customers and transform every business relationship into profits guaranteed.